Who are you talking about?
Sarah McLachlan.
Still putting on music?
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, she's been doing those fucking commercials.
She's just living off of that commercial.
She's living
Fuck
off
yeah,
of the royalties.
She's living off the royalties and guilt tripping the entire world.
Making people cry all over the world in soundtracks.
She's like, look at this house I built.
With your
tears.
With your tears. Your tears have financed my entire building.
Well, Sean, I'm really sad
Yeah, it looks like
to hear that, buddy.
Me too. I don't have audio, so I don't know how. I mean, I can't hear it.
You can't hear
I
yourself.
can hear you
I hear.
just fine.
Testing.
I mean, it looks like she put out an album in 2014, I guess.
Wow, that's a while.
I mean, I didn't.
Oh, there we go. Now I've got audio.
There we are, boys. We done did it, kids. Look at I even made a list again.
This is great.
Did we
I'm
even follow
loving
the
this.
list last time?
I scratched things off.
We must have followed.
Yeah,
it.
last time you. Oh, you fuck!
something.
Last time you made a list, we watched that fucking KFC thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're a cunt.
Well,
That was hilarious.
I mean, you're welcome. You guys are welcome. If you guys want to listen to that episode, it was episode 8 or 9.
You know the
I think
problem.
it was 8.
And
The problem I'm having with it is that I'm sitting here saying that, oh yeah, hour and a half podcasts are great, but 16 minutes of that was too much. That
Yeah.
was too much.
Yeah. Yeah, but I loved it. Only because I
We
got
know
to
you
see
did.
it.
he loved doing it to us.
Yeah, it was mainly because I really enjoyed seeing Matt squirm. But regardless, we have been recording.
Yes.
Why is this?
One, two and freeze, don't nobody move. 1, 2 and freeze, don't nobody move. 1, 2 and freeze, don't nobody move. Don't nobody move. Don't nobody move. 1, 2 and freeze.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Chill Regular. My name is Jonesy. With me is Sean, Matt, and David is here.
in the
Welcome
house.
back. Welcome back.
David.
Welcome back. Well, guys, I just wanted to open up the show with this.
So I'm going to leave now. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Later.
Bye-bye. 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 I'm out of here. Bye. Bye.
That's fucking great.
It's one of my favorite things of the day.
I mean,
Oh,
there have been so many good things. The first one that I really laughed at today was someone said to me, and it was like, Melania is over. She's like, I don't give a fuck anymore. Like,
Yeah.
he got off the plane and he stopped to wave and tried to grab her hand, and she just kept walking. She's like, no, fuck this. I'm done.
Well, she did her job. She finished her job. Her big thing that she was trying to do was fight bullying, and so her last act was to walk Trump out of the White House.
Oh, get out of here. Bye.
Oh, that's that
you
long
did
game.
it.
Damn.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Damn.
Oh my goodness! I mean, what did she actually do anything? I mean, it's kind of hard to follow Michelle Obama after all the shit that she like held on to and did and helped fund and support and all those things. Like, what did she?
Michelle Obama's still doing stuff.
Well, I know she is because she's a boss bitch, but basically at the same time,
Yeah, she never stopped being a first lady. She's still doing the
she's
job.
still doing the job, right?
Yeah, her outfit today
She's
was
putting out
definitely-
books, and her outfit was amazing today. She looked like a Sith Lord.
She did, right? A little
What color
senator.
lightsaber would she have?
Ooh,
Black.
Black lightsaber.
Oh man, that's actually a really good question.
I was picturing pink, but probably not.
I mean, I probably would think purple, and I don't know why, but I like the color purple because it's the color royalty.
Yeah, that would go.
I mean, it'd go really well, especially with that suit she was wearing today. That girl was on point.
She really was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was nice.
But seriously though, like, what did what's her name? Ivanka?
Well,
Melania.
She's
Melania.
Melania
I
seemed
can't
Ivanka's
remember
the daughter.
Oh, I don't remember.
But I'm pretty sure Trump said at one point, like, he wanted to sleep with her too,
Oh,
right?
Jesus fucking
Didn't he say that?
Christ.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He said that. He also said they have sex in common. That they like to have sex.
He said he would. Not that he wanted to.
If
but that
she
he would.
wasn't my daughter and it was not okay and you guys didn't know, I would totally fuck my daughter. I would totally give her sexual relations.
Wow.
And if he was
that not too
actually
much?
doing
That
it,
was
he
so
would
fast.
say it. So he probably wasn't.
All right, so it's Melania.
Melania, yes.
Melania. This is how much I paid attention to all this stuff. What did she do?
Bitched a lot.
She was
Did
more
she do
interested.
anything?
She was more interested in decorating things. She decorated for Christmas. She changed the whole White House lawn
To what?
Well,
greener.
Every first lady had planted a rose bush in the lawn, and she took them all out and landscaped it.
Oh, what a bitch!
Oh, it became like a big deal.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
was a thing.
What rock was I under? That's pretty funny.
I hadn't heard any of that either.
But
That's
she
great.
actually was. I felt like she had a good sense of design. Like maybe she should have been an interior decorator for stuff that she was doing, but she got a lot of heat because it was too modern. Like it wasn't super colorful. Everything she did, she would pick a color scheme, and people would be like, boring.
Oh, Jesus!
What was it though? Like she got recorded saying something like, she's like, I try so fucking hard and no one even cares. Like fuck it. Like something I forget what the exact.
Wouldn't that what you feel like too? If nobody really cared, everybody's gonna talk shit on it anyway. I'd be like, I'm done.
Well, no, I don't think it was in the context of that, but it was like people got upset because she there was. I need to look it up. Hold on.
Oh,
Well, she probably got fall off heat from Trump.
She was probably less prepared for that job than Trump was for his.
Yeah,
she was like, "What the fuck, dude? I was
She
just
got drug
supposed to
into it.
marry you, blow you a couple of times,
Get my
and just
green
be a
card.
get my
billionaire.
green
Done.
card, and I'm fucking out of here. I didn't know I was gonna be the fucking first lady."
Got away from her quick.
Oh, that's what it was. So it was around Christmas, and like she wasn't really like decorating that much apparently. And someone recorded her saying it, but she was like, "Who gives a fuck about Christmas?"
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
the other thing came though was that she started talking about all the kids who were still separated from their families, and she's like, "Oh, who gives a fuck anymore?"
Oh my god.
Or one of her first.
Oh, she said, "Give me a fucking break."
Oh, give me a fucking break.
I mean, still, it's really don't say that.
well,
One of her first fits though was she was wearing a jacket that had a big words on the back.
Yes.
And it was something about I don't remember what it said, but it was
I'm gonna.
Like,
she was
by big words.
protesting. Yeah, she was protesting that she was getting heat for something.
oh, Jesus.
By big words, do you mean like large words or with many syllables?
Oh, it says so on the back of her jacket. It just said, "I really don't care. Do you?"
Ooh. I mean, you know what? Here's the thing, guys. They're out of, the White House now.
Thank God.
Right?
Bye-bye.
Amen. Bye-bye. Right? But I will say it's been pretty entertaining.
Well, that was a big thing too. Is like since our worlds have kind of revolved around Trump and his stupid fucking tweets. Like how I think Saturday Night Live did a skit on it. They're like, we don't know what to do now.
Yeah,
He's
like
gone.
you got nothing to talk about. Now
They're like, we don't have
everything's
anything to
like,
make fun of anymore.
yeah, like the inauguration speech today. I was like, pretty
That was
good.
great.
Yeah.
That was pretty damn good.
It's
Some
presidential and
people,
everything.
some shows base their whole format on Trump, like like the Colbert's late night show.
Yeah, because now what are you guys all going to talk about now?
Probably how he's trying to rebuild everything. Yo, fun fact. I didn't know this until I looked it up last night.
Yes, last night.
Yes, last night.
I just looked at yes last night.
Exactly, you cunt. So like people were talking about, Trump's been pardoning so many people, like 200 some or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently Obama, he
made a record.
Yeah, Obama made a record. He didn't pardon everybody, but there was a reduction in terms of their prison sentence, things like that. But he did over 1,000 people.
Yeah.
I heard that Trump actually hadn't pardoned as many people as most presidents do.
Yes, but the problem is
They were all his friends.
They were people who supported him. They were
course,
loyalty. Whereas every other president, more or less, they were like.
I was looking at the list today. It was like
a
150 people that they released, and most of them are just like for taxes,
Yes,
for
it's
taxes,
just
for
like-
taxes.
I want to know what the fuck Lil Wayne has on Donald Trump to get on that list.
Was he on that list?
He was. He's one of the people
Look
he
at all
pardoned.
150. Oh,
I don't mind. I don't mind them pardoning Lil Wayne.
It wasn't about gold or something like that. Like he tried to smuggle gold into it, or
And he was smuggling like cocaine and weed.
what?
But
No.
and he had like AKs. Like it's like he doesn't need to be doing this stuff, but he does it for fun.
Yeah,
Why not? That's nice.
You know what? Screw it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah. Where's the scissor? We're gonna get fucking ripped.
As long as he didn't shoot anybody.
Yeah. Well, I pardon you. I wonder what a pardon looks like from the president. Does it come to you in like a gold leaf envelope? That's
I would frame it.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so Lil Wayne apparently was up for federal weapons charges. He was potentially facing 10 years, and so he pardoned him for that.
Oh.
And the fucking picture of Lil Wayne with Trump is amazing.
Oh my god!
You realize how little he is.
He
is
looks
Lil Wayne.
like a child next to Trump.
With all those tattoos on his face, he's like,
Well, he's wearing like a goofy sweater.
And he has huge dreadlocks, but he actually
Yeah.
has a tiny head.
He really does.
Trump looks like that
my
weird uncle who's
God.
like, I'm cool too.
Right? It's like, I'm hip with the kids. I know the hip hop. Oh my God.
What I want
makes me so happy.
Little Wayne looks like he just got accepted to the weirdest branch of fucking Hogwarts.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Pippindor. Jesus.
No, too much.
No, I'm just wondering, like, what other like classic things are we going to ruin on this podcast
my
in the
God.
lifetime it has?
Wow.
So what I
got
want
a
to know
list.
from you guys is if you became president and you had an inauguration, what bands would play your inauguration?
I had a very similar question.
This is a
but
good one.
It'll be a good follow up.
Okay,
Smash Mouth
in Nickelback.
and Nickelback. If
man.
anybody out there is listening to this damn show, and we know you have. Thank you very much, by the way, guys. This has actually been really nice. But yeah, most definitely Smash Mouth.
And it's your opportunity to bring back Creed from nowhere.
You only get wait.
Arms wide open. I mean, that'd be a dope ass song to come into the
Inspirational.
presidency with.
I want to hear him sing the national anthem.
Oh, that'd be
I
entertaining.
mean, does he still believe in America? Didn't he have like a huge meltdown where he thought everybody was coming after him?
Doesn't mean he
Yeah.
doesn't
I mean,
believe in America, though.
Doesn't everybody have one of those?
Oh boy.
Oh, did we go there?
I mean, like, I just had a little one of those in the car on the way over.
Yeah, I'm just
I just
saying.
thought that's a part of the
What, paranoia?
daily routine.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Who's been
Wait,
following me?
So do we only get one band, or like can we
No,
get?
you actually get a few bands. If you become president, you can. It's like after the inauguration, they have a party, and the bands will play not just the national songs, but they just have a party after.
So let's like pick 3 then. How's that
Yeah.
sound?
All right. This is gonna be a good game. David, I'm assuming
Okay.
you already have. Your
I thought
list,
about
so
it.
I know
so
you
yeah, I am holding it in my hand.
did. Yeah.
So it's a giveaway.
He's like, I brought notes and everything.
I forgot what I said earlier, but System of a Down, Fiona
Interesting.
Apple,
That'd be fun.
Alicia Keys, Metallica, Ministry, Run the Jewels with Zach De La Rocha, and Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill would probably be.
I'm just going to copy his list.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good list,
Pretty
man.
solid right there.
That's my dream music festival, probably.
That's pretty rad.
I mean, probably Tool has to be in there.
Well,
somewhere.
9 Inch Nails.
No, not 9 Inch Nails.
What's wrong with 9 Inch Nails?
It's not as good as Tool.
Oh, okay. I
Why,
thought.
why would I put Tool up there and then downgrade for the next band?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, that's what they did today. They basically put what's her name, Lady Gaga, and then they threw a J-Lo right after her.
Like, and I'm not
like,
down-
oh man.
I'm not downing like Trent Reznor's talent. He's obviously talented. He's
Extremely talented.
yeah, but you're saying it with this air of like,
just
I
don't
don't fucking care.
Just don't enjoy his music as much as other people do.
I just don't want him to have a nervous breakdown on the stage during my inauguration. That I think would be the biggest thing, right?
Wait, for Creed or for
No,
Trent Reznor?
for Trent Reznor.
He doesn't have. He hasn't. He's been like clean for a long time.
I know, but it's still in him though. I
would pick
What I'm saying?
Good showman.
relapse.
bands.
Still in all of us,
It's still in him though, man.
dingus.
I would have to pick good showman bands, like so bands that are
Yeah, of
just
course.
not just good like on album, but like
Yeah.
real performers. Like I'm not a big Kiss fan, but Kiss would have to be on that list
Oh my
because
God.
they are an event.
That would
Yeah.
rock.
And then
Could you imagine having big blow torches off to the sides?
dude.
It was coming in.
it has to be that stellar visual performer band,
And it would be red, white, and blue fireworks.
that's Tool.
Yeah, 100%.
That's Tool. That's Kiss. That's believe it or not, Korn. They're fantastic. live.
Korn is amazing live.
They're so much better live
Yeah.
than they ever were on any album. How many do we get?
3.
As many, yeah.
Oh,
3, 4.
Okay. If I could squeeze Rammstein in there just to play We All Live in America.
Oh God.
Because those guys live are amazing.
Of
the
all
mild
those bands,
irony.
Who would be your headliner? Like, who headlines that? That's insane.
Rammstein for sure.
Tool's everybody's favorite, so I would do that.
They headlined XXX the movie. Come on,
Exactly.
we can get to that
Those are
later.
them then.
I would if I'm picking for me, it's Tool.
Okay.
If I'm picking for me, it's Tool.
For sure. What about you, Matt? What do you got?
Oh shit. Who's gonna? So okay, if we're picking bands, Breaking Benjamin.
Oh God, it's gonna be.
wow.
This sets the tone for America.
You're welcome. I'm basically the average. Like everyone has a unique music taste. I'm like middle of the road.
He's
Everyone
like,
knows.
okay, I got this. Breaking Benjamin, Death Cab for Cutie.
Ew, no, God, no.
Only, I mean, do you want everybody to cry?
That's what I mean. If this is not my list, I'm just saying.
Got shit on my list for some reason.
I mean,
Dookie.
well, we know what you cried to when you get home at night now.
I was just talking about Death Cab for Cutie, not what you said.
Yeah, he's talking about Death
Dashboard
Cab.
Confessionals probably going to be the headliner.
Fall Out Boy.
Chevelle.
Fall Out Boy, no. All Time Low. No, I'm just kidding. That's another good band.
Blink 182.
Breaking Benjamin. Shit. I don't want to say Nickelback just because they're mine. I want them to be mine. I don't want to share
You're
them
the
with
president,
the world.
of course.
Right, so they're going to play for me in my
You can let
private
them
office.
backstage.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no one else can
Why you
enjoy
all
that.
just circle jerk each other in the
I
Oval
hope so.
Office?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Oval Jerk Show. Oh fuck. Asking Alexandria.
Who?
Okay.
Wow.
No,
Asking
I was
Alexandria.
suggesting a band. I'm not being a jerk.
No, you are a jerk.
Guess it's like classic rock.
I guess not.
No, I don't like classic rock at all.
I just realized that I'm just picturing little emo Matt in his room growing up, just listening to all
Bro,
this.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you
Hair
something
all
real
hanging in
quick.
front of his face, like
Dear Diary.
like some kind of like slightly happier Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, exactly.
Barely. Let me tell you something. One of my good friends back home, he has this great story because we all rode the bus. Like he and I rode the bus when we were like in junior high, I think. I didn't know he was on the bus line until much later in life. But he always kind of was like nervous about me because when I at this stage in my life, all I was listening to was the Mortal Kombat soundtrack.
That was a good soundtrack.
It was great, and I would sit at the
a good
back of the
soundtrack.
bus and just like fucking just like stare.
Just go fucking crazy.
Yes, and he was like, "I thought you were gonna shoot everybody on the bus one day."
Oh my God.
But you know, so I was definitely like a little emo kid in that regard. Quad City DJs, that'd be my third. Space
Nice.
Jam.
Nice.
What about you,
All
Gary?
right. All right. Let's see. I think it would have to be a performance by Method Man and Redman
Nice.
because I've seen those dudes live and they put on a good fucking show. All right. It'd be Method Man, Redman, Metallica, most likely, because,
Good solid choice.
you know, I
Very
feel-
American.
I just, exactly. Right.
Yeah, Metallica. They're like I picked them because they're not the like they've had hits and misses.
Yeah.
but they put on a fucking good show.
Put on a good fucking show. That I
Forever.
would want music that makes you feel something, but it crosses the gambit of genre, I think. Right. So, you know, Alicia Keys is a really great choice in my opinion.
stellar.
Right. Like stellar. And that's an interesting kind of lineup per se. I mean, off the top of my head, that's about it.
You're president, so you can have two if you want.
I mean,
You just gonna just not have a third? Just have like 30 minutes of people standing around?
no, I said it. I said so. It was Method Man, Redman, and then Metallica, and then Alicia Keys.
I thought you were just commenting on
okay.
his choice.
No, and I'm stealing yours. Actually, I'm
okay.
recruiting,
And then
her
I'm
for
adding Garth
mine.
Brooks to yours because you were defending him earlier.
Here's my thing, man. I like Garth Brooks. Okay, I
What?
like.
Why?
I mean, why not? Why not? He has friends in low places, and that's where I live, motherfucker.
Good. No one's ever fucking said that joke.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Don't be all emo over there because we got at you, buddy. All right?
What?
Garth
Wait, what?
Brooks
I
is
can't come
good.
back at you. What is this?
Well, I mean, you can if you want
fucking
to.
pansy.
Look at
Brooks
this
is-
guy
Don't
get
come
off.
after me.
Garth Brooks played 2 inaugurations. You know that?
Which was the other
he
one?
played Obama's and he skipped Trump's and then he played Biden.
Was he invited to come to Trump's?
Yeah, and he said he had touring
That was the most
schedule
political
conflicts.
way for him to be like,
Yeah.
fuck no.
He is Republican, but you know he's I don't know.
Well,
he
whatever.
claims. Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed most of the performances today anyway.
Those were solid choices.
Although, I mean, to be honest with you, we had J-Lo, whose last movie was her fucking pole dancing.
And she did bring
That movie
A-Rod.
made a shit ton of money.
I know. I
mean,
know. It's that ass dough.
Duh.
Yeah, it's that ass dough. Just saying.
I mean, come on.
But I mean, they gave her a song that I was, commenting earlier. That
kindergarten
it's
song.
a kindergarten song. You know what I mean? Like she could just go up there and sing like a kindergarten teacher anyway. So she's solid. Out of everybody that was up there, Garth Brooks actually took the most courage, in my opinion.
Well, I like that he was himself. He comes out. He was kind of like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had his mittens and his Parker thing on.
Yeah.
But Garth Brooks comes out to the presidential inauguration in jeans, boots.
And he looked like he just got off a fucking horse. That dude's.
He did. He came in with his hat on, his black hat.
Straight up, man. But he did it a cappella.
Yeah.
The whole thing had no track behind it, so I'm like, good for you. Good for you. There's millions of people watching this thing.
And then he was getting everybody to sing along. They didn't have microphones to catch it, but that was cool.
Do you think they actually sung along?
Well, how many people were in attendance?
Who wouldn't? I mean, at least 25,000.
Everybody was singing along in their homes.
Whatever.
I think if you're enough of a patriot to be standing there,
You better be singing.
You're probably singing,
Yeah.
especially if you got like good old American cowboy Garth Brooks up there singing.
Good old American cowboy. God, that guy is just a loser.
No. Jesus.
What is your hate on?
I know.
I never enjoyed Garth Brooks. I thought he was just kind of...
Okay, go get your Breaking Benjamin back then.
I mean, he's kind of the equivalent of like a modern day Kenny Chesney. I don't like Kenny Chesney either.
This guy's bullshit because I can almost guarantee this guy was drunk one night in a bar and fucking I Got Friends in Low Places comes on or Thunder Road comes on.
No.
And you're there and you're drunk as shit and you're singing that goddamn song with everybody else.
I can tell you why I fucking hate Garth Brooks. It's because of my college friends. All good old boys, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I love them to death. You know, they're all country guys. They hunt. They do all that fun stuff in Michigan and whatnot. They would play those songs every fucking time. We would get ready to go drink. We were drinking. We were at the bar. I heard it way too fucking much. I'm done with it.
So you mean to tell me if that song didn't come on, you wouldn't have some nostalgic feelings of you and your boys going hunting?
Well, I only went hunting with them once. It's actually kind of a funny story. So
I just want to congratulate. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to congratulate Gary on how far back he got his jaw into his neck.
To say
Back into his neck.
and you made a joke, and then it happened to be a real story.
yeah, no, because so one of my good buddies, Carl, he took me hunting for the first time, and we went for a doe, which for anybody who doesn't know is a deer.
Is a deer.
Female deer. Nailed it.
thanks, man.
But anyways, so this is my first time like firing a rifle. Like for whatever reason, he trusted me to like do like a decent job at it. And so we see a deer out in the field, and I fucking put it up, scope, completely missed. I go again, I rack it, and then I shoot again. Carl burst out laughing. Apparently, I mean, this is so sad for the deer looking back on it, but apparently I had this second shot like hit the deer like right at the joint in its leg, in its front leg.
No.
The leg flew up and smacked the deer in the face. And just to put the deer
Physics simulator.
right, just to put the deer out of his misery, Carl shot like immediately after I did, and just like one shot dropped him. But that was fun because I had to drag that fucker out of like a decent ravine.
Yeah, they're heavy.
And had a big hoof print on its forehead.
Yeah, pretty much. After that, I was like, I can't kill anything because I suck at this. That's why I would be a terrible serial killer. You know,
It takes a lot of practice to get good at killing things.
It really does, and
Yeah.
I just don't have the ability.
Well, the only way to get better at killing things is killing things.
What?
I don't know.
That was like low hanging fruit joke.
I know.
I just got this image of like Son of Sam style, like two people making out in a car, and Matt walks up with a revolver next to the window and just blam, 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 blam.
Good
It's
Lord.
nothing.
Okay.
Nobody.
That makes more sense.
And they're just freaking out, screaming, and then he just like, and then he just walks away. And
I would
Put
apologize.
Breaking Benjamin back in the years of
say
Mortal
sorry on the way.
Kombat.
No, it'd be
Put
Mortal Kombat.
back in the
I would be like,
yeah.
sorry. And then just like,
I love it.
It's like if you go to drop kick somebody and
have
you
to
miss,
explain it.
now you have to explain.
that is my favorite line from that podcast, by the way. That one was fucking great. I was dying. It's like now you have to stand up and be like, oh,
That would be embarrassing.
This is weird.
when is it not? What's the next question?
Well, I was just kind of curious on your guys' thought on the address that Biden gave today.
I thought it was good.
Yep.
Yeah, very presidential.
I mean, it's very much a continuation of what he's been doing through
and through.
the whole process. You know, he's just reiterating a lot of the positive notes of how he wants to be a president, and I respect it.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good for the time, for now, for what we need, and he just knowing that he actually has a lot of speech impediments, and he pulled that off. It was really
With very
good.
minimal amount of flubbery.
Yeah, there's a little, but
there's only one.
yeah, it was
like
good.
6.
It was amazing.
Jesus,
that he got
Gary.
that all out.
I was
Fucking
just curious.
bully
It
over
was
there.
like
No,
a-
there's 6. I was
There's only
counting.
one where he had to like stop and go.
Can we roll that back,
it
please?
was like he just like transposed an R and a D or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I thought he was a great orator throughout the whole entire thing. I think he did a great job. Though, the thing for me that I thought was really interesting is because it's like the rhetoric that we've listened to for like the last 4 years it felt very me from Trump.
No.
It was nice. It was a nice shift to we.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the way
country. Yeah. Low hanging fruit, Matt.
Mine was actually funny.
Truth. But yeah, it was nice to kind of hear the unity in a speech.
One of my friend's big problem with this though was he thought that Biden's wife isn't as pretty as Melania.
Ew.
Jesus
Who cares?
fucking Christ.
Like what the hell?
He's like, are
are you like
that first lady? I'm like,
I mean,
I'd
that's
fuck
like
any first lady.
That's
but-
like, was Gary? Is it your mom who votes based off how some pretty?
somebody
Like, that'd be
looks,
like voting. I'm like, I'm gonna vote on this guy because his wife's hot.
He got
His
spoiled
wife
quick,
voted
and nobody holds the president to that standard.
he's like, but we've never seen Biden's wife's titties.
Exactly.
Have we seen Melania's titties?
Hell
yeah.
What?
You haven't.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone else did.
Fucking David's gone 1 week, and all of a sudden he comes back
he
swinging.
comes back hard, dude.
He's like, I've had time to prepare.
The thing though that makes me a little worried is that, like, again, I don't agree with a lot of things Trump did over the presidency, but I do think the one great thing out of this last 4 years was that a lot of these things that have been swept underneath the rug has come out, right? Like, he was the asshole that really just kind of flipped all the switches, really let people realize that, like, no, there's some dumb shit going on here that we need to actually converse about. However anybody handles that is all on them. However, my worry becomes hearing Biden's speech today just felt like potentially we're just going to sweep a lot of it back underneath the rug and just try to put things back in place and then just continue moving forward. And I'm hoping that that's not going to be the next 4 years.
I don't think that they really can. I think that there's enough people who are paying attention now.
Yeah.
Because they went, oh shit, this is what happened when we got lackadaisical about it. Now we need to like actually start reading.
I give it a
And
year.
be a part of it.
I give it a year before people are going to give Biden some slack. Some people are going to give Biden some slack for about a year, and then we'll go back to like picking him apart a little bit.
Well, I think by then Kamala's going to be president anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Many people are saying that.
Yo, I'm clearly not educated on this. A lot of people have said that she's kind of a snake in the grass, and I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know much about her.
I don't think there's enough to know about her yet.
Okay.
But maybe other people know stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, like now this is coming from a staunch Republican. He's like, nah, she's a snake in the grass. He's like, and I was like, why?
just
She's like,
saying that
she's
because
done things. And I was like what?
You've done things.
Oh, he has done some
That's what I'm
shit.
saying. Like, you probably, knowing your friends, they've done things.
Oh yeah, they've done things.
Right?
It's true.
Although, it was really nice watching her get inaugurated.
Yeah, that was cool. It's the first. It's a benchmark for us.
Yeah, as a culture. And I think Biden says it in his speech, which I thought was really powerful.
It's cool that he doesn't mind sharing the spotlight because that is taking. She can outshine him at times, and he doesn't seem to mind.
Yeah.
I think that's why he chose her.
Yeah, he's confident in who he is and respect.
Well, he realizes it's a stepping stone.
I mean, he's got what 11, maybe 15 months of of that job anyway.
really hard on this.
Dude,
I mean, like he's gonna die. Is that what you're
Well,
saying?
have you
No.
seen the photos of presidences when they first were starting out
yeah.
presidencies?
previous presidents?
Thank
They
you.
age at an accelerated
At
rate.
an accelerated rate, exactly. I'm just
starting
like,
old.
Yeah, my wife goes. I said, "Do you think he's gonna last in the presidency?" I'm like, "I think he'll die in office," and she goes, "He'll die right after office."
So here's the thing: when you said aging rapidly for whatever reason, the fucking Indiana Jones thing just came to mind. And Last Crusade, where the hair's like,
that's basically gonna be him.
yeah, that's all I can picture is like, oh god, he's aging rapidly.
Yeah, that's
Somebody
it.
out there is going to have to compile a time lapse of like freeze frames during addresses.
Oh, that would be pretty
we should
funny.
do that for Trump too, so you can see how like he went from looking like a fresh
Light
orange
to a hot.
To rotten orange.
well, it's been like I don't know.
No, to be honest,
Sitting in your back seat of your car for a couple of years.
Dude, he's had so much
getting real
preservatives.
stinky.
It's going to be the same fucking orange.
Ew.
He buys it in a can. It's always the same.
It's always the same.
It's about
Exactly.
the company, so they'd never change the formula.
My tummy doesn't feel good.
But one thing that I didn't realize that I've never really watched any of these inaugurations just because, I don't know. But as I've gotten older, obviously, I've been they affect me more. Like choices that are being made affect me as an adult differently.
Right.
And, as I was watching, my wife and I both were watching Kamala get inaugurated into her position, my wife actually starts getting teary-eyed. And I think just the weight of like, it's very true that this is a moment, especially for a female, to actually have representation on that stage the way that it is today, and Biden had a really interesting factoid. 108 years ago, thousands of people were there marching for women's rights to vote. Right?
That's true, yeah.
108 years ago.
Yeah.
And here we are today inducting our first diverse female vice president.
I mean, it's a huge moment. It's monumental. It's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, you and I are on the same page. I think the greatest thing for me is because people don't notice the changes that happen because it's happening gradually. Ooh. Right? That's rough. Right? But it's happening over time in small increments. Incrementally, thank you. Gradually. Granularly. No, whatever.
Granularly.
Stop it. Thanks.
That would work.
Yeah, right? And here we are, 108 years later, and now we have a woman president. A vice president, right? That's right there.
And
soon to be president.
And a minority at the same time.
And a minority,
Right,
exactly.
representing huge underrepresented groups.
Yeah.
And he has the most diverse cabinet so far that's ever been.
She's half black, half Asian, right, or something like that.
Oh, Asians are fine.
Not according to. Oh yeah, actually no. According to equal opportunity, you're right.
Yeah, no, they're fine. I mean, they're doing better than we are.
They have to test higher on SAT scores to
Right, or else
for
they
the
get
same.
shunned.
No. I mean, like just for. Never mind.
Well, I hope
I'm
we
just
get.
not gonna get it. That's a whole show.
I hope Andrew Yang runs again.
Yo, so
I do too.
Is that the guy who runs the Alibaba?
He's the guy that he's for universal income.
Okay, what's the name of the guy who created Alibaba?
Oh, the one that supposedly disappeared.
thought
yeah,
it
he
was
just
Alibaba.
resurfaced. Like they
forget
found
his
this,
name.
like he just came back. I was like, I'm not dead.
Nice.
I'm still here, guys.
I was like, I didn't even know people thought you were dead.
They thought that he gave a speech that was kind of controversial that China wouldn't love. Flexing his authority there, and then they didn't see him for a long time, and they thought he got executed or something.
Jesus.
jeez.
And then he reappeared recently.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's like, just kidding. I'm not dead.
On like a real quick funny note, this guy, I can't think of the guy's name, but he has a couple motivational speeches, but he was talking about like how he's been rejected, but I mean, he still obviously became like a stupid billionaire. But he was like, I applied to Harvard 3 times. Each time I got rejected. When KFC came to my like hometown area, 27 people applied. 26 got jobs. I was 27.
Oh my God.
And just like hearing that heartbreaking moment and like just watching him laugh now because he's like, I have billions of dollars, I don't care. But like just that story of like, 26 other people, they got it, not me.
Well, there it is.
And well, along with what you were saying, Gary, was I think Trump showed a lot of exploits in our system that people didn't think to exploit, and that also made us pay attention. We were all like, "Can you fucking do that?" On a bunch of things that he did, and you're like, "Oh, maybe you can because he did."
Yeah.
Can you hire your whole family as your cabinet? I guess.
Yeah.
No, I would.
And so now we know that you
can.
I appreciate him for that.
Yeah.
He did. I'm telling you, man. I think the thing that we got to appreciate the most out of this last 4 years is that there are fundamental things that weren't working. And until you have somebody come into that place and be the martyr for all that stuff, here you go. And what a perfect person to do that with, by the way. Somebody that just gives zero fucks.
Zero
Fucks about anything other than himself. Right? And so he's the like only person that I would fathom that would be willing and utterly able to take the berating that dude took for the last fucking 4 years, you know? I mean, to still hold that fucking, orangey ass
It's
face.
simultaneously it's simultaneously like one of the worst things that happened to us, but also one of the best things that happened to us.
100%.
And democracy stood up to everything he tried to throw at it, which is good too. To know that that the country can stand up, and the system that was originally put into place can withstand that.
Strong.
Yeah.
100%.
I still am.
It gave him every opportunity to sue and go to the Supreme Court and go to other local courts and every court he could find, and everyone was like,
nope,
nah, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice try, buddy.
Yeah. I got to say, like I said, I appreciate him doing that.
Yeah.
I think it was. I think
doing that.
As hard as it was for our nation to go through, I think it was good.
Yeah. Was there anything in a Biden speech that stood out to you guys that really kind of like got you? That you're like, I see you, Biden.
Oh, so I got a confession, y'all.
You didn't see it?
I did not see it.
Well, because you're you.
I mean, I saw like brief little highlights, about obviously people coming together and all that. I didn't watch the full one. I was on my way into work and just, yeah.
Yeah. There's one line that he said that really kind of like, I played it back just to listen to it again. Not the whole thing, just this little segment. And again, it kind of comes back to what I was talking about with like the rhetoric that we've listened to for the last 4 years versus like what's happening now. He was basically saying that like I'm going to butcher this, by the way, but ultimately we need to show our power by example, not necessarily the other way around.
Show, don't tell.
It was the, was it lead by... lead not by it was really good too. That's a really
it was but it was in that
by
context.
the example of our power, but by the power of our example.
Yep, thank you. That was like the strongest
that's a historic
fucking
line.
Yeah, that was like one of the strongest things, because when you hear the rhetoric prior, it was just like, I'm this, we're the best, we're these things. You're basically saying the things that you are, your accolades and all those types of things. It's like, no, we don't got to stand it. This is the beautiful thing about being American is like, you don't got to be up here standing saying all the fucking great things about you. We know we're good. We know we're strong. Let's just be a great example of that outwardly. We don't got to sit here and jerk ourselves off the whole time.
But we love doing it so
We
much.
do love doing it. That is
love
true.
doing it.
But we do love doing it. I agree. But it was a really powerful line. I was like, I see you.
Yeah,
dude.
there's a few quotables that that can withstand the test of time on that one for sure.
I think so.
And it was nice to see that Trump always spoke in these weird fragments.
Yeah, because
that can't be taken out and made historical like a JFK quote.
Yeah.
I mean, they can make historical.
There's a lot you can do in post.
Oh yeah, we can fix it in post. I mean, the things that he said were not like historical in a good sense. They're all historical in the dumbest fucking sense. Like, let's put bleach in us.
Historically bad.
What the fuck did you just say?
And he's always going, and everybody said, and everybody knows, and everybody's saying.
I didn't
things
say that.
that nobody says.
My favorite
just
one.
ask anybody.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. And like they play audio clips. It's like it's not me. What kind of a
didn't
mind
say
do you
that.
have?
Yeah. Fake news. It's all wrong.
Fake news.
God.
Yeah.
Fake news. All right, buddy.
He's
right.
all wrong.
Well, guys, he's out. We don't got to worry about that dude. He's got impeached twice, so he's not going to be able to come back, right?
He's gonna go to jail, right?
The articles of impeachment, as far as I know, haven't been turned in yet. They're trying to impeach him, and the result of that may be that he is no longer allowed to come back. But being impeached doesn't mean anything happens other than it is a trial.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, this is
even
not
really
the
a
last
trial.
thing we've heard of Trump, obviously, because it's
I mean, but
Trump.
here's the thing. Would anyone here be surprised if he was like murdered?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, it depends. Who do you think is going to do it?
Exactly.
Because if it's Melania, maybe.
No, it's gonna be Ivanka because she's like, I don't want you to sleep with me.
Oh no! Damn.
Stabs her dad in bed.
Man.
Basic
Mad
instinct
because
style.
daddy took away her political office.
No.
Did you? Oh my God!
I want it back.
Speaking of that, I didn't realize this. So you know how Secret Service will be assigned to like family members, things like that. It's just kind of standard protocol. So apparently, for the Secret Service, they were assigned to like Ivanka, the other two dick nuts. I don't even know their names honestly. The two sons.
Barron and John?
Sure.
Don
No,
Jr.
not Baron. Baron's the little
Don
guy.
Jr.
Yeah.
and Baron. Yeah.
Don Jr. and then the other one.
Eric.
Eric.
Oh, right.
So apparently
Eric is Trump's least favorite. Go ahead.
Ivanka refused to let the Secret Service into their home to use the bathroom. They had to go to the neighbor's house to use the bathroom and eventually had to rent out a place so they could go use the restroom because these fucking entitled little cunts wouldn't let them use the restroom.
The people that are saving their lives.
Yes. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Everybody knows the Secret Service pees on the seats. So
Good. I hope they pee on, you know what? I hope they pee on Ivanka and she
probably did
realizes
on
she
purpose.
likes it. But yeah, I was just like that. I mean, they were spending thousands of dollars to house these people, which it was our money, basically. It was tax money.
Why? Why wouldn't she just let him use the restroom?
Because she's an entitled little princess fucknut. Like, she just thinks that the world... I hope she gets butt AIDS, like, real hard. And I hope...
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if she gets
cursed.
it...
Yeah, Matt cursed.
Voodoo doll. And then I hope the two Trump oldest boys get their dicks falling off
Oh my God.
from too much suntan.
Maybe from butt AIDS. Never mind.
Yo, that'd be a family affair. I like
I'm
it.
just saying, like,
Sean, I see you. I see you. All right. I'm game.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, talking about family affairs, guess who just turned 99 this week?
Betty White.
Betty fucking
My fucking
White,
Betty.
Dude, that is amazing. And she's still kicking.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, she's a fucking firecracker.
She's the best. She is an icon. A
Do we
treasure.
want to take the Betty White poll and see?
She can take my poll.
I was-
Ooh.
fucking beat me to it.
So sorry.
beat me to
So sorry.
How old do you think she's going to last?
I say 199. No.
Fucking
I'll say 103.
103? That's
think she's
actually
got-
pretty solid.
I think
I'm
she's
around
got 4 more years.
104. I have
Yeah.
104 in me. Anybody else?
I'll say 105, but I know that's a stretch.
Oh, that's a stretch. I mean, Betty White lived to be 99. No one ever thought that would fucking happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Realistically, 102. Optimistically, forever.
I mean, right.
Oh, yeah, man. I think she has an interesting quote that I found for her birthday. She said, "Growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional."
It's a beautiful quote.
It's such a beautiful quote.
I think it's a
you know,
sentiment that people often forget, much like the one of like, you're going to die. It's like, have some fun while you're
have
fucking
some
living.
fun while you're living.
Please, for God's sakes.
So my question for you guys, like, how old is it that you guys want to live?
Oh,
Forever.
see, yeah, this is that bullshit that he's still on.
Forever.
I do not. My biggest fear is to, being a writer, being a creator, is getting to some point in life where, like, whether it be Alzheimer's, dementia, where that creativity is no longer possible, where I will lose everything that's been, that I've treasured, basically.
Your
whether it be
identity.
yeah, exactly. And I do not. That terrifies me more than anything. So like I'm like mid 80s, maybe.
Do you view the integrity of your body or your mind as living?
Ooh,
Excuse me?
I mean, well, because you're talking about Alzheimer's and like where you like losing your wits,
Yeah.
but what if you never lose that?
but your body sucks.
But your body's
My
given
body,
out
my body
at 80.
sucks right now, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, that is also
take that body.
That is also another thing. There's a
It's like I want to live. I want to see the heat death of the universe.
I know, you
but
fucking
I don't want my
psycho.
mind to be fucking.
yeah. We talked about that. You didn't want to
Looney
be
Tunes
yeah,
while it's
like a
going on.
veggie.
I want to be clear and I want to be able to observe.
But what's the,
How
the
things
longest
progress.
that's like somebody that you look up to who does the craft that you like? What's the oldest they've been relevant, you think?
I mean, well, Lawrence Kasdan was around for a long time. I think he's actually still,
still
around.
around,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
he's still writing. Like he was involved with Star Wars. There does come a point, I think, where if you don't step away from screenwriting and involve yourself, whether it be in production or direction, something like that, you're not going to be as relevant because you will lose touch with certain things.
Well, Scorsese's what, 80 something?
Yeah, but he doesn't write nearly as much.
Sure, he does. He practically writes on everything that he's doing, but he may
write on it, but he doesn't. He'll give notes and shots and things like that. And absolutely, that comes with age and experience. Yeah. But I don't think once you get to a certain point, the creative spark is not. Yeah, it's not nearly as powerful as it was when you, especially when like people have been in the lap of luxury for so long. Yeah. I think a lot of people get comfortable and they start churning out some really garbage things.
Yeah, but Scorsese too, though. I don't think that was really his shtick anyway. He wasn't really a main writer. He always had a writer for him. Mm-hmm. So
no, absolutely, and I think that's why I'm saying, like, if you stay as a writer for the rest of your life, you can have a good living if you're successful.
Yeah,
but if you don't branch out into other categories, like it just won't be as optional. Like you probably won't have as many options as you get older because people won't want to hire you. Like you're outdated, things like that.
Yeah,
it seems like you want to get to the point where you're where they can just put you on producer on a bunch of things.
Right. I mean,
basically
Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's interesting though, because our life expectancy is getting longer. I'm curious if there's going to be older stories, stories for older people that haven't really been able to be told just yet.
Oh, there have been quite a few stories. But before we get into that, what is your two Dingleberries age? Fucking Dracula over here wants to live forever.
Same. Yeah, I want to be a vampire.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Jesus. Well, you know what? Even moreover, though, I think we're not going to live forever. We fucking know that. Is there going to be a point where in all fairness, I would love to like die in my sleep next to my wife, right? Like that's the epitome of a good death, no pain.
That's a Spartan death right there.
Yeah. Just curled up right next to my wife and just.
And you want her to wake up and see your dead body?
No. We die at the same exact time together that night.
That's pretty selfish.
Dying together, Jesus Christ!
It's either selfish.
I'm gonna take you with me.
There was a horrible accident. Donnie Darko.
But I think that there's my thought goes to okay, well, what's the limit? Because if I degrade so heavily that my body fucking sucks, I'm in pain. I'm just like, who can I hire to kill me?
Kevorkian.
Who could I do that? Right? Who's gonna just put a pillow?
You got 3 guys here who probably do it for you. Let's be real.
Sean's looking at me like I'm in.
No.
Couldn't do it.
The homeboy is ready to watch the world die in the heat death.
Sean,
and he's like, I'm not going to put my friend out of my misery.
Dude, I'm not going to.
So much pain.
I'll take you to the professional who will do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to commit murder.
I mean, it's fun. I thought you were a friend.
I'm trying to live forever here. I don't want to be doing that in prison.
Well, eventually, if you live forever, the prison will crumble and you can just walk out.
Yeah.
I think I would
don't
only
get shanked. Look at this face. I'm going to get raped and shanked. I'm pretty.
The same time, or is it the same thing?
Maybe
a little bit of both.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
What's your safe word? I know mine.
I don't have one.
I like it that they put people in prison for life, just in case they're just like, not 90 years, for life, just in case, well, we don't know motherfucker's going to live forever. So.
99 to life?
Yeah, something like that.
I think I could only kill somebody if we're in a war and I have a gun and they're shot already.
Yeah. And they're shot
and they're already dying.
It's going to do
they're
one
already
more.
on the way out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I could ever kill anybody. I don't know. I'd probably...
Everybody is capable of it. It's just you have to get pushed
No, I
far
absolutely
enough.
could.
Yeah.
If I'm going to break a law,
Yeah.
there's going to have to be some serious reason.
Well.
Good one. Are we murdering somebody? Why did it get quiet?
Did I just walk into something or walk out of something?
Oh, was there a question that he was supposed to be like, oh, that's a transition?
Am I supposed to do something here? You were looking at me like it was my cue, and I'm just not prepared for this.
What would be the perfect death, though, Sean, for you, if you did not live forever?
Alone. I don't want anyone to mourn me.
Uh-huh.
So I'd rather just be alone at the end. Maybe a dog with me. I don't know.
All right.
But
Just they can eat your body at the very end?
By myself in a home or in my home.
Yeah.
Just where it's not going to affect anybody.
Mm.
What about Matt?
Yeah. I'm weird.
On the spot.
Well, he's not. He's not. Shit. I've actually thought about this. I know how I don't want to die. I don't want to drown. I know that's number one. I definitely don't want to do that.
Oh God, yeah, no drowning.
Drowning would be
no burning to death, no drowning.
I know the thing about being burned to death is you would inhale the smoke faster, so that would kill you before the flames like did the most damage.
Oh,
You
that's
not
nice.
see him with a vape? Jesus Christ, this guy's gonna last longer than everybody else.
I think a good death, as cliche as it sounds, is what most people want. Like they want to be surrounded by people they love. Let them know, like, hey, I'm going. Like I love all of you.
I want
Deuces.
I want to outlive everybody I know.
Yeah. And
Yeah, just like no, I'm not doing that.
Don't want to be surrounded by people crying. Leave me the fuck alone.
Why? We'll
go
miss
before
you.
Me. Go before me.
I will miss
That's
you.
what I care about. So I hope I live a long time. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to start poisoning all you motherfuckers.
you just want to be the last man on earth. You want to like
No,
to be able to.
I don't want.
grocery
No, he
shopping
wouldn't want to do
sad
that.
when I'm
He
gone.
likes people too much. Like I don't think you want to be alone, like legitimately forever.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
like, I'd like to see the inevitable death of the.
Not like I
universe.
Am Legend or.
Yeah, but yeah, like
Bruh, I would not. I would no. I would be I would die very quickly if that kind of a scenario came through. Like I Am Legend, I would straight up be one of those who was just like, I made a dumb mistake. Bop,
oh, that nail was a little rusty. I kind of scratched my hand and
it's just gone. Wait a minute. So do you two have your like ideal death? Well, you already shared yours.
Sorry,
Gary.
I
You want to
interrupted.
die in your.
No, I mean
wife's
that's
arms.
not. I mean that would be a nice way to die. I think it's something that obviously just quick and easy, like doing something cool that I would probably never do.
Now, is this like? I gotta ask a question here. Is this like ideal death, or is this like if you're gonna go and maybe you weren't expecting to?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Oh, if you weren't expecting to?
then Blaze of Glory is a little more likely. Like,
Thelma and Louise, like just fucking take it off a cliff.
Go rob a bank.
that
and
was
just get shot up.
deliberate. I mean, like,
Well, it wasn't deliberate in the sense they wanted to. It was like this is their only choice now.
an honorable death. A good death. In the heat of battle. Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be
You a
fun.
fucking centurion? What's happening?
Over a fucking Snicker bar. God damn
Over
it.
a Snicker bar. That's how Gary and Sean.
There's only
get
one
their
way to
kicks.
Valhalla, motherfucker.
There is only one.
We're not
Valhalla.
Vikings,
Speak for yourself.
Heyo.
bruh. We're not
There can be only
Vikings.
one.
We're in California.
We are descendants.
We got here by boat.
Right, but we're not Vikings anymore.
He's like, we'll figure this one out.
So did some people.
figure this out.
My helmet has words on it.
Fight.
David, speak some
So
truth.
I've thought about this in probably like a detached manner. I think if I actually was dying, or if I had to pick in real life, if it was about to happen, I would maybe do it differently. But in my sleep is one, and then in the other scenario would be something really messy where somebody has to go and pick up every part. Like if you fell off a building and hit the ground, and somebody's got to scrape brains off. Like,
Oh my god.
to me, that would be
I love it.
semi-amusing.
Can I ruin something for you guys?
Sure.
Dying in your sleep isn't peaceful.
No.
Yeah, you can go in your sleep. Why? Wait, why is it not peaceful?
Because you wake up.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, how do you know? You haven't experienced it.
No.
No,
Not personally.
But we don't know. Like they all die in their sleep. Like we don't know.
Sure.
Well, I mean, I think there's people that have
I
died.
don't know.
in
Maybe
their-
there is.
Yeah, people have an aneurysm.
I
and they're
really
just like,
hope it goes peaceful because that's how my stepdad passed. Was he died in his sleep, and like I hope to God it was just like he was asleep.
I
didn't
hope
really
that's the
feel
case
it.
too.
Yeah, like that's what I hope is what happens.
Yeah. I got a buddy of mine that his grandpa died years back. It was probably like 7 or 8 years ago. And he comes back we were in college, and he comes to the house late. We were having like a little get together, all smoking weed, drinking beers, having a good time. And, he comes from Orange County to San Diego. It's like 11:30 at night, super fucking late, but we're all drunk and hammered and having a good time. And he shows up just like dude, where the fuck were you? Because we didn't even know. And he's like, oh, I was just at the hospital. My grandpa just died. And I was just like, oh shit, man, I'm sorry to hear that. And he's like, yeah, I mean, he was old, and it was just it was his time, right? And he's like, but it's how he died today. That was the worst one. And I was like, what the fuck happened, right? And so he tells me that his grandpa basically told everybody to get out of the bedroom, and he wanted to talk to the family members one at a time. And so, his dad goes in there, his mom goes in there, 5 minutes at a time, just kind of him giving his final bits. And my buddy goes in there. He's the last one almost that went in there. And he's like, "Hey, Grandpa." And he's like, "Come here. Come closer. No. Come closer." And my buddy is just like, "Yeah, what? Yeah." And he goes, "A little closer." And he just get right up into his face and he's like, "You're a bastard."
No.
And he died.
No.
Wow. Yeah, dude. Wow. And me and my brother are literally sitting there going like,
Holy shit.
"Oh fuck."
Like was Grandpa just like a fucking clowner? Like, or
he a
like did he
prankster?
legitimately?
This is my question, right? Because my first
never know.
my first thought was, I'm like, "Well, are you a bastard then?" I'm like,
right?
"Are
What did he
you
tell
really
other
your dad's
people?
kid?" I mean,
What if he told every single one of them
they're bastards.
every single person came
Every
like, "Come
single
closer."
fucking one.
You're a bastard, but don't tell anybody I said that.
Bastard. I mean,
Oh my God.
I was just like, well, if they're gonna go out, that's a funny way to fucking.
I mean,
go
that's
out,
pretty
though.
hilarious.
I mean, Jesus,
That's-
that's what my buddy takes with him every time he thinks of his grandpa's.
Which is great.
Boom.
Like,
You're a
I hope
bastard.
that his grandpa was really sarcastic. And like, what a great last line to be like, "I'm going out and you're a bastard."
You're a bastard.
He might have been all medicated, and that
Most
just sounded like a
likely.
good idea to do.
right.
I mean,
good for
maybe
him.
fun.
Maybe he was
This'll
going
be
to say
fun.
like, "You're a really great person," and then like he was like, "Oh, I'm going, oh, bastard."
Yeah.
You're a good bastard.
What would be a good last line for you to say right before you croak?
Nice.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'd say.
Nice.
Either that or spicy. Just be like, "Oh,
Can you
spicy."
just imagine old
And
ass
just dying.
Matt just going, "Spicy."
And then
Now I have to
peacefully-
plan something really cryptic that people want to dissect forever.
Yeah.
What, like
Got to
Rosebud?
plan that out. Yeah, Rosebud.
Which I think we've talked about it before, but that line doesn't make any sense because the papers blew up about it in the movie. They're like, "What does it mean?" There was nobody in the room with him. No one heard him say
No one
that.
heard him say it. Yeah.
Like, that's been the biggest flaw for that movie. But yeah. Anyway.
But it was a visual masterpiece. Talking about Citizen Kane, guys.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
yeah.
If we have to explain it to somebody, then they don't deserve to listen.
Oh, well, you heard it from Matt first.
That's right.
Nice.
Douche.
Nice.
Sean, what do you got?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm kind of with David on this one. Like planning something out, it takes time to really know what you're going to say. But maybe in lieu of that, in lieu of having my plan fleshed out, catch you guys on the flip side.
Yeah. Even if it's you at the last of the planet watching it go to dog shit, you're the last man on this earth watching the sun explode.
Then I know exactly
out.
what I'm going to say, and none of you are going to know what it is.
You know exactly what it is. He's going to be like, "Nice."
You know, I'm
good,
going
man.
to tell you, Matt. I'm going to tell you right now, because of this moment, that's probably going to be what I say. Because at that
Fuck
moment, I'm like, I remember a conversation I had about this about 3 million years ago. Oh, Matt, nice.
He's still listening.
That's when like the
Explosive
nova
ball
of
of
whatever
fire.
bullshit is happening washes over me.
And it's warm. It's nice. It's
I feel like if that was me at the end of it and the heat's coming and I can start seeing my hair burn and my skin start crackling, the last thing would be like,
My servos failing.
I do smell like pork rinds.
oh my God.
You can steal this, but you could just tell everyone that there's $10 million buried under the tree.
Oh, like that one guy.
Yeah, but that actually they actually found money, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know.
There was some guy who did it and like someone found the money.
Just bring someone close. The password. The password is banana hammock.
Banana
my
hammock.
God.
I mean, I feel like it'd have to be something a little more close. Like I would, if that was me, I'd say something real like awful, but like ask your parents what happened in the basement. Like something, like something awful.
Ruin somebody for their life that way.
Yes. Either that or like you're adopted, and then go.
oh my God.
Or you're a bastard.
Or just point out your favorite family members and leave everyone else out.
You're cool.
You're
You're,
my
cool.
favorite.
Fuck you.
I'm out.
I'm out.
Instantly going.
And then your mom's who's a saint, just like, why me?
I think Gary just found out what he's gonna say.
Yeah,
Fuck you. That's
fuck
awesome.
you. You're cool. Oh, we should have fucked. Out.
Yeah. No, it's got to be.
Yo, who in your family is in that room that you say we should have fucked?
I don't. My
I
guess
have
is a lot of
questions.
friends.
Oh,
that
so
would do
I
that.
have something. Somebody told me that there's a
scary.
nurse and people are dying of COVID. That's sad. But so There's people that are dying of COVID.
I love how
David, we get you're excited.
Okay.
You might need to start
But
this
this
one
is
over.
hilarious.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
There's people dying of COVID, and the nurses watch all the mistresses come in one by one, thinking they were the only one.
Oh my god, that's a thing.
All these Don Juans, and they just see tons of girls just come in one after the other, one after the other.
God,
Yeah, mourning and crying and bawling on their
that's
way
like
in and
Sean's life.
Good for them.
That's what's gonna happen with Sean.
Yeah, except they wouldn't all think that they're the only one. They'd all
They'd
be
know,
like, they'd
yeah.
probably carpool.
out. But they all think they're the favorite.
They might even actually be coming from my house,
Oh, nice. He has his harem at home.
Spicy.
bringing their boyfriends with them.
All right, well that got. I know this is your moment. Like fuck
Just
all those
saying.
dudes.
Yeah.
You're gonna judge me. Judge me right.
No. I want to judge you just for you, and not these other
I
dudes.
see your judging eyes. Keep them on me.
My judge. Ooh, I gotta go up and down for that.
Well, speaking
And all
about
around.
speaking of judging,
Yeah.
some more on the saga of the Cyberpunk.
Judging. Boom, boom. Oh, different. Not Law and Order.
No,
okay.
not, yeah, dun dun. No. No, so they just filed a like a second class action lawsuit.
What? Another one?
now. Yeah, from the investors of the video game.
Oh, Jesus.
No.
Yeah, I guess the stock market prices tanked. They lost like some $1 billion or some crazy amount of fucking
This is the
money.
episode you weren't here for, right? When we were talking about Cyberpunk 27, and I was like, "What happened?" Is this the one you weren't here for?
It's come up a couple times, but I didn't know about the lawsuit.
Yeah, so apparently, number one, apparently the employees sued them for like terrible hours. That came out, but then the game was just complete shit on a lot of systems, or at least the PS4. But yeah, now apparently, like Gary said, like they're getting sued again, and like
a lot of
PlayStation took
refunds
them
going
off.
on
Yeah,
right
PlayStation
now.
took them off. Like so, apparently, Cyberpunk said like if you want a refund, contact us. We'll give it to you. People contacted them. They
shit.
didn't do it.
Yeah.
So then like Xbox and the other ones were like, here, no, we'll do it for you.
Really?
Yeah. Like they
So,
did not do well.
Do you guys remember the EA lawsuit?
Which one?
So
Yeah, which one?
yeah, well, all the employees sued one by one. It was the the programmers first, then the artists, and then the designers, and they had to pay out, I think, somewhere in the realm of 22 million.
Jesus.
But I actually got 15,000 from it. The lawyers made tons of money off of it.
Of course.
But yeah, it was just from them doing illegal tactics in making people work too much.
And what did
Wait a
you
minute, you
think?
said you got 15. You were part of EA when that happened?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So I've been through a lawsuit. Like all I had to do was say, I want to be part of it. And they did all the work. I didn't do anything. And then I got a check. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, question on that end, like, do you feel that it was warranted?
I don't know the conditions for the people that were working there.
I'm talking for you.
Oh, for me, yeah, no, they owed me more than that.
Nice.
That was a portion of what they actually owed because they promised bonuses and then they never came through on them. Like that
It was like the same type of stuff they did with Borderlands 3.
happens a lot.
So like, do they make you work longer hours like as it comes time?
They're called
Like,
crunch hours.
Yeah, there's some sort of formula. Like if you make above 90, they can make you work as much as they want. But if you make under that, you can't work more than I don't know the numbers. Like say you can't work more than 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And they were making people do it.
Jesus.
Well, my buddy that I work with now, he was doing 100-hour weeks for 2 years straight.
That's disgusting.
2 years straight.
Yeah.
No, that's way
Red Dead
too much.
Redemption.
They were making us
Which
work
is
7
crazy.
days.
But he made a shit ton of money though.
It's a fantastic game.
It is, but
I mean, it's a great game, but that I don't know if it's worth it at that point.
I appreciate his
he
time.
made a shit ton of money.
Right, but
well-
he's also losing his life.
Well, and that's why he's not working at Rockstar anymore.
That's fair.
That was Red Dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Red Dead has a terrible
Yeah, there's a
reputation
lot
for
of
how
bad
they
ones,
treated their
yeah.
employees.
Really?
Yeah, really bad.
Like
but
both
it was
of
an
them, or was
amazing
it the
game.
first one? Or was it for both of them? Like all
Probably
of them?
both, but
Yeah.
for sure the first and I think the second too.
Jesus. Yeah, I mean they're great games. Like they're
Great
phenomenal,
games.
but like
phenomenal.
I don't. Obviously, kids don't really give a shit. But like I think as you get older, you're like, fuck, someone really had to put time and effort into this. Like,
Well, and it's crazy, right? Because we just consume. Right?
yeah.
You don't realize how the fucking sausage is made, and most people don't want to know how the sausage is made.
True.
But I've been reading this book called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, which has been a really great book because it goes through a handful of games like Diablo 3, Uncharted 4, and a group of other ones, and they kind of talk about the behind the scenes of the bullshit that went down to get this fucking game made. And I'm reading through this book, it just blows my mind the amount of politics that are still involved and just like creating these types of things. And at the same time, they're making a shit ton of money doing it still.
But yeah, it's how the pyramids were made. You know,
Yeah.
it's a formula that works. It's how the South was made.
Except they got paid with beer back in the day for the pyramids.
Did they
I
though?
hope so.
Yes.
Did they?
They were paid beer.
But then when they die, they would just shove them into the
Yes,
mortar.
that's the other problem. Like,
Oh Jesus!
yeah, some people
Christ.
like.
I think
drink-
in the Great Wall, there's like tons of skeletons in the Great Wall. Of
Oh, I
China.
wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Well, nothing puts up a wall best like bones as reinforcement.
Good one.
Pretty solid.
Good.
David's better.
Well, you know, the interesting thing to me is I was looking at some of the not quotes, but just like all the bullshit, the trolls talking shit about this fucking game. I've played it. I haven't played all the way through it. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting is people are mainly, from what I see, are being more upset, not necessarily because of the technical issues, because I think there's a lot of games that have technical issues as they release. I mean, we talked about them in detail last week, right? But the thing that I started noticing from what they were reviewing and saying, it was basically that they're more upset that it wasn't as good as they thought it was, or that they imagined
Didn't
it
live up
was.
to the
It
hype.
didn't live up to their hype. Now, my question becomes: is that reasonable?
Well, I don't know if, because I haven't played it, so I don't know if how much they tricked people. But there was a period of time where they would do pre-rendered gameplay and trick people into seeing like what you actually bought was not what they would say. This is gameplay,
Yeah.
but it was all pre-rendered by like a million machines.
Oh, you like
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
in-game footage?
Yeah, E3 was like full of that for a long time, and I don't know how much it's changed.
Well, with Unreal doing real time engine now.
Yeah, now we've caught up
we
to
caught
what
up
they
to what they were hoping to
what
do,
they were
yeah.
hoping. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean,
I think it's hard for me because it's like, wait. You mean to tell me that you built in your mind what you were hoping this thing to be, and it didn't reach your expectations, so you're going to be pissed off?
Right, but hold on there. Expectations, generally speaking, aren't set without a precedent prior. Like, you know, Sean was saying last week that they said that it was going to be for PS4.
Yeah.
And then that was clearly a lie. So what, did they say something? Did Cyberpunk say something in the release of the game that made
or at least incorrect.
yeah, did they say something that was incorrect and then it led these expectations? Generally speaking,
And
Well,
to
they-
that point, though, for me, like I followed that game through and through for like at least the last 2 years. I was really excited about this game, but when I played it, I didn't feel like, for me personally, there was. I mean, it sat in the genre pretty well, in my opinion.
Well,
like I
you just
enjoyed
said-
everything.
you said 2 years, but the
Yeah.
game's like, I think Dave, you pointed out, like it was announced 10 years ago alongside another. No, Sean, you were talking about it. Like the guy, you were like, it'll be done when it's done.
yeah.
They had announced it 10 years ago. So what the fuck did they say 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 7, 6, 5,
It's like
4,
8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah, like what things were they saying that led to this expectation? There's a gap.
Sure. I mean, I don't know, man. I think it's interesting enough to me that and this is something we all got to be kind of cognizant of as creators in this room, is that marketing versus actual product.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? And so my curiosity is like, from the marketing standpoint, did it sell a different game or did it sell the same game, but because of the amount of it in your face and the hype that comes with it, did expectations get too high? And this is something that I've noticed, like something like with Star Wars right now, right? Because people will watch Star Wars and be like, the fuck? Because the way that they market Star Wars and the way that they like created that universe, it creates this intense nostalgic feeling and hype that is really hard to land, you know?
well, like personally, from a strange, like selfish point of view of a person, I haven't played the game, but I just like the art of certain things,
Yeah.
and the idea of certain things. I want Cyberpunk to do well. I want there to be a Cyberpunk 2. I want there to be a 3, and I want them to continue to do what they're doing. I love the world that they created.
Yeah.
And so I just want the best for them. I also want the best for the employees as well.
Sure.
But I think the only obvious problem I see is they weren't honest with what the PS4, what it was going to look on the PS4.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, I still hope it does well.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead, Sean.
think they genuinely wanted it to be viable on the PS4. I don't think that was like a marketing ploy because it doesn't really do anything for them to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the previous gen having established consoles, sure, but the PS5 was coming out anyways, and unless they had some, which is totally possible, I guess, insight as to the metrics on that, sure. But I think that they actually expected it to work, and then when it couldn't, like, so that's probably what the delays were about. And when it couldn't, they were like, "What do we do?" And somebody probably not the developers.
You know who set a weird standard? We should definitely do another podcast on this. This would be its own like little section. Star Citizen. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
We talked about Star Citizen.
That's who I was bringing up last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good.
Because that's another one where like, when do you release it?
Yeah.
When it's done.
That's a weird zone.
That's the quote from Chris Roberts recently. He came out and he says it'll be done when it's done, and we're not going to push it out beforehand because we don't have investors who are expecting it to be done on a timeline. We have investors who are you guys, and we have investors who understand the culture of this company.
Yeah.
And he's built an empire around that.
I just think that it's this whole scenario worries me watching it.
In what way?
It worries me that expectation versus delivery.
Okay, well, hold on a second there, because I mean, you brought up Star Wars, and a good thing you can go with is the divisiveness of The Last Jedi when that movie came out. That's expectations, things like that. Yeah. I think especially since you did bring up Star Wars, I think the reason most people shit on that movie, and I'm all for it because I do not enjoy that movie, was there was an established mythology and a lore in a movie series that has been around since the 70s. Like, people they grew up on this is ingrained in them. And then Rian Johnson came along and he loved subversion. Like, his movies are all about that. Normally his movies are really, really good, but that's when he's playing in the sandbox of his own creation. He was now in a much larger sandbox, and he tried to just upend everything. And that the expectation of like, these are the established kind of not rules, but like, there's good and there's evil, and this is kind of how it is. That's what Star Wars fans expected, because that's how it's been. That was the precedent that was set. So, expectations versus, delivery, it literally just comes down to, like you said, your advertising. What do you say? How do you say it? What are you promising? Those, because no one inherently sees someone's like, that's going to hit everything that I ever wanted because they've told me. It's like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
Well, they have this amazing chance that we sort of take for granted nowadays because it happens so slowly. But like I said, when I first started working in digital art, there was no undo. When you were in Photoshop and you painted, you swiped over the face, it was permanent, and you couldn't go back. You just had to. And then in 3D, there was a point where when you were doing stuff in 3D and merging things, we had to save a million versions. We had to save every 5 minutes because there was no undo. Now you don't. Now you just like undo. Okay, I didn't like that. But now, so the same thing with games. You can release it and continue to work on it. Right. It used to be you worked on a project for 2 to 3 years, hoping that when in 2 to 3 years when you were done, and you hoped that it did well, and you hoped it wasn't all buggy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You hoped it worked on every system. Yeah.
And if it didn't, they had to do a re-release.
Yeah, eventually they'd do a re-release.
Do you think that inspires almost less efficiency if they know that they can upgrade and do?
Yes,
absolutely.
See, and I think that's where a big problem comes in, is that people don't put enough care because they're like, no, we can fix it. We can fix it in post.
Later. Yeah. Updates.
Yeah.
To Gary's point, though, to Gary's question about, and I think what you're asking is it reasonable for these people to expect something, and was it shown to them to be better than it was? Now, I think that, there was some stuff that was rendered on like systems that would fill this studio. But it was that's neither here nor there. A lot of people are judging the gameplay, and the gameplay was almost like completely unrevealed. They're saying it's too much like Grand Theft Auto, but so what?
Yeah,
they didn't tell you they didn't tell you it was going to be otherwise.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
What did you expect?
Yeah, there's a lot of games like other games are taking the same mechanics.
You're going to be roaming around a city. You can drive cars. You'll have guns. I mean, this kind of falls into that certain style. Their gameplay style was very much so that Grand Theft Auto style. So I think people built it up in their minds.
Oh yeah.
And are being completely unreasonable when it comes to what was actually released because they hyped themselves up.
Right. And to that point, though, it becomes the worrisome thing for me is that then you get a company that's being like, well, we're sorry we didn't live up to your expectations. We're sorry. And now we're giving you your money back. Now we're not,
Well, people get really entitled these days. Like, so when I give money to a Kickstarter, I know there's a possibility that the product might not get made.
Forever,
I know I'm an investor. I know I'm someone who's hoping to be the first one to get the cool thing. And I'm hoping that it all works out. But if it doesn't, I know that they probably tried really hard. And there's a lot of innocent people in this process. But there's a lot of people where they're like, if they don't know exactly what they want and it's 10 times better, and they built it up in their mind over all this time where they had anticipation, and then they're always going to be disappointed by their own imagination.
Yeah, but
that's not fair.
It's not fair, right?
Yeah.
And I feel the same. It's not like the Fire Festival. You
Oh,
guys
God.
ever watch that
Fire
shit?
was- yeah, that was
you guys remember that
savage.
shit.
Of course it is.
Super
And I think that's what
savage.
people are treating it like.
No.
In a
I
weird way,
disagree
I do,
because they've had 10 years. They had publicity. They had Keanu Reeves coming out making announcements. They had all this hype. They had all these reviews saying like this is the game of the year. This is going to be the thing. So it's not necessarily that it was these imagined expectations. Like they were told that it was going to be these things.
That's what we do, though. That's all hypothetical. We're hoping that it's going to be the game
You
of
can
the
hope
year.
it's good and you can be disappointed.
Well, yeah,
but when they tell you it's going to be great, when people are coming out like this is the game, this is it.
I guess that's the danger of going, this is going to be your favorite game that you ever played before.
That's the problem.
Sometimes I get all hyped up. I play a game. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's just not my game. It's not my thing. And I was hoping, and I'll play a different thing.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bash people because everybody has their own experience, I guess, and have their own way to judge. But
everyone has experience, I guess.
I guess.
I just let stuff roll off. I don't sit there and whine about if I don't like it.
Yeah.
I just move on.
I just think we got to be careful. People have to be careful with what they're expecting versus what they get. And we do live in a very entitled society that demands satisfaction now.
I guess entitled plus marketing trickery.
Yes,
it
so
can
I think
be
it
a
goes
bad
both ways.
scenario.
I can see that.
It's on both sides. Like people need to stop feeling like that they deserve the world and a fucking oyster.
Right.
But also people need to stop saying like this is going to be the thing. Like you don't know. No one knows.
No one knows. Yeah. Sean's shaking his head
I
over
didn't
here.
see unethical marketing. From
I didn't
CD
either. That was
Projekt
my
Red.
thing. I didn't.
You didn't.
At all.
You don't think that they
No.
overhyped it themselves when
I
they
don't
had
think that
Keanu
hyping
Reeves
your-
coming to award ceremonies and being like, check out this
But
fucking
he was
game.
in the game.
Right,
He
he's
was
in the
in there.
game, but like they've had other celebrities in games that didn't go out and just like promote the shit out of it at like huge events.
Well, still, I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't
I think they
I don't
misrepresent-
think that's unethical marketing.
It's not unethical, but it's wrong in terms of leading people on for expectations. I don't think it's unethical. They made a choice.
No, you
But
just
this
said
is
it's
what I
not
don't
unethical
get it,
marketing,
yeah.
but it's unethical marketing.
No, I said that
Leading
they,
people on for false expectations on
I
something
don't-
you don't intend to deliver.
No. It's not that they didn't intend to deliver. I really think that Cyberpunk really thought that they were making the greatest game they could. The problem is that they weren't realistic with it, and so they did all these things and they advertised all these things, and that just wasn't what it was. There may have been a lot
I
of
didn't
like
see
heavy
that.
I
clouds.
didn't see exactly.
Were you there?
Yes, I paid attention to its entire.
I mean, were you in the company? Were you in the meetings?
Oh, no.
So-
no,
so
I'm
we don't
saying-
know.
No, I'm saying.
Okay,
like,
so we don't know.
Were you?
All right. No, that's why I don't claim to be.
Okay. Well, so here's the thing that from my perception, okay, when I saw the game announced, all the hype that they put out and what I see of the game that has been released, the one
the PC?
the one mistake that they made was releasing it on previous gen consoles and not holding on to it till after Christmas. Sorry, two mistakes. That's what they did. Their marketing was not unethical.
I don't think their marketing was unethical. I just think they advertised it poorly. They had high expectations for themselves, which then projected onto the people buying it.
I think that they would have made those expectations a reality if they had held on to it until after Christmas.
Right. I don't think they gave enough time to it, like going back to it, with all these bugs, all these things.
And
that's
that-
a huge problem.
And that is likely due to those investors pushing them who are now suing them for not delivering.
Which
And
sucks.
that's the
Yeah.
next thing I was
Yeah.
going to come down
Yeah.
to, because that's the double irony, is that they have investors that are giving a class action lawsuit to them, where I bet you, and this is obviously,
I think you're right on this.
speculation.
Yeah. They put the
But
pressure.
they put the pressure on them
Yeah.
to release. This has been out for 10. We're, the marketing's finally caught up. Like, people are getting excited. We need to release this. We need to release
Yeah.
this fucking year. The PlayStation 5 is coming out. Blah 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 blah. And here we are.
they're trying to throw him under the bus.
100%.
Which sucks. Like that's probably
100% I
easily
agree.
the worst. That's just being like.
And so I think, to be honest with you, and I think this is going to be the last time I want to talk about Cyberpunk.
Me too.
But I do think there's something very
dump.
Till the next thing comes up.
Until the next thing comes up. Yeah. I do think that there is something very interesting to study about this whole business venture that went down. I will put it on record on my end of the table is that I don't think they deserve as much of the heat as they've been getting for this damn game. I think they came out with a great game, and I think people are being a bunch of crybabies.
I think the precedent of games being rushed and then coming out bad, set by like Bethesda.
I was about to say, yeah,
and
exactly.
and a couple other titles that have come out. People are just waiting for that disappointment at this point.
Yeah.
And now when a game is anything less than what they thought it was going to be, it's the end of the world.
Well,
Right.
Because that's what they're used to it being.
So my point against that would be, so I do not know the team behind it. I think it's IG Software, I think is who does it for Doom, and then Doom Eternal. There's a bunch of hype about Doom Eternal coming out. So much hype. But that game more than lived up to it, in my opinion. I played it. I thought it was fucking entertaining as hell. So much fun. So it's kind of one of those things like who are their investors? Like, did they have the same crunch time? Like, what do you think was the difference there? Because that game was overly hyped, lived up to it. What was the difference?
Different studios, different people, different management styles. There's a lot of things that
can go right or wrong.
Think about how a movie gets done, right? Like this type of stuff happens in movies all the fucking time.
It gets more complicated.
It's more complicated in games. So I think there's a lot of variables that we can't really, and it would be stupid for us to even try to argue over or try to presume we know. But I think just the dots that are aligning made it seem like they were pressured by their investors
100%.
to get it out faster than they should have. And here we are hearing about the biggest flop in video game history.
Nice.
Damn. That's harsh.
That is a hard.
Because there's a lot of flops out there.
There's a lot of flops, but they're saying that this right now is the biggest.
Might be the most expensive.
I'm going to say the second biggest flop.
We know your
Video game
biggest flop.
history.
We know the one you hate.
He's like, boom.
No, we know it.
Yeah.
It's Fallout. Iron Bodies or
No,
whatever.
Brotherhood of Steel. Iron Bodies. What's it? What kind of magazines do you subscribe to?
You know, the good ones.
The good ones.
The good ones.
Do you even lift, bro?
I used to.
I used to too. Now all I lift is all this extra
These
weight.
nuts.
These nuts.
Wait, so what's the big?
Speaking of how the sausage is made,
Wait, then what was the biggest? Do you guys know what the biggest is in your opinions?
I think it's that Brotherhood of Steel game. It was so bad that people wanted to erase it from time.
Fallout had a few problems. It's amazing. Like I think it was Fallout 2. Most people couldn't play it. Most people didn't finish it because and it wasn't that they spent as much money. Brotherhood of Steel was definitely a flop. But it's amazing that Fallout even made it to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 now. Because I think Fallout 2, if your entire inventory would disappear when you close your trunk, something like that.
There's no Fallout 5.
That's exhausting.
Well, Vegas and blah blah.
Yeah.
47 or 57?
76.
70.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Wait a minute. So what is? So okay, Brotherhood of Steel. David.
I mean that's. I'm not. I don't know if it's like financially or disappointment. I was disappointed in Diablo 3, but I don't think that's the biggest flop.
Gary, do you have like a game that came out and you're like, fuck, this was just not what I was told? Or you're just like, you're like, ugh, that did not satisfy.
Oh, actually, I got a better one than Brotherhood.
You know what? All the games that I've been playing over like the last 2 years, I love. I haven't found one that I'm like, man, this is stupid.
Not even when you're a kid and you're just like, fuck, well, that was disappointing.
No,
What did you think of 7 Days to Die?
I mean, we never finished it.
You kind of played for like 10 minutes and never came back.
I just remembered a game I played on PlayStation way back in the day. I think it was on PS2 or the sequel was. Do you guys remember Fear Effect?
No.
Fear Effect, no.
It was like you played an assassin, you were a girl, and you had another like a partner who was a guy, and I think you could switch between the two and go on missions. eventually it all takes place in China because the main character is Chinese, and eventually you end up making your way into hell and having a confrontation with like the devil in that realm. Like it was just such a weird, crazy fucking game. It was
Very hentai.
Oh my God, it was nuts. And then they made a sequel, which was great because it had like it was a lesbian heavy tone, like imagery of like this one girl was like tied to a something, but like there's a mechanical bug like gyrating on her at one point. Like I don't know why that just popped in my head, but anyway, here we are.
He's like, I played that game every night.
I paused that scene. I know I was at the age where I just started getting tingles and jingles in my body, so like I was exploring. I was like, why does this make me feel
So
funny?
they created new fetishes for you.
Yeah, straight up.
In the developmental stage.
Oh no!
You're like, son of a bitch.
And we opened up the box.
Something for your therapist now.
Thank you.
There was a game called Sanitarium that was really cool.
Yes.
Not tons
Remember
of
that
people
game.
played it. It was amazing design, amazing story. And it was like an adventure game that unfolded. You're in a sanitarium. You have to figure out why you're there. And it was a crazy story that like statues that bled from their eyeballs and just creepy, crazy
Imagery
stuff
was
going on.
amazing.
Yeah. There was it was, and the art was really good, but it wasn't super mainstream. But one problem with it was actually impossible to pass because there was a bug that sent you back to the first level on like stage 6.
I don't remember that.
Nobody finished it,
That's great.
but it was still worth it. You were like, oh, it was still fun.
Yeah.
That may have been part of it too. You don't know. They were just like, fuck it. We're gonna make these people think they're insane.
I thinking about it now, I think, and this was my fault. Okay, this was my fault because I built the hype, and when I got to play it, it just didn't. I was like, all right, well, it's cool, I guess. It's all right. Red Dead 2.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because Red Dead 1, in my opinion, was fucking narratively great. Gameplay, great. You know, I just felt like Red Dead 2 was just a copy and paste with better looking graphics because the generation above. But the narrative stuff felt very similar. The missions felt very similar. The game started feeling very repetitive. And the moment that I play a game that starts feeling extremely repetitive, I really start to lose interest. And the overall arching narrative, I was just like, okay, cool. Got it.
I mean,
You know? And again, Red Dead 1 for me was like, it was just a really good fucking story. You know, like you felt for John Marston. You really wanted him to get out of the life. You really wanted him to succeed.
Oh, for sure.
And then you have Arthur Morgan that's kind of doing the same exact thing, but he's tied into the family, right? And so now he's trying to get out, trying to do the right thing, but yet at the same time, he keeps getting sucked back into it and then ultimately becomes his inevitable demise. But at the same time,
spoiler alert.
it did feel, it just
I
very,
hadn't got to that part yet.
it's very, very similar. It's very similar to Red Dead in general.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm like, well,
And I can't tell if you're getting ready to wrap this up or not, but I was going to ask. Like,
just, you know,
oh, okay.
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
You don't want to say anymore?
No, I'm done.
I was just going to be like, you know, have you ever had a game that just ended so abruptly? You're like, what? Like it was a good game, but it just stopped. And you're like, what?
You're like, that was the end of it?
Halo 2.
Oh,
I never actually played the Halo series.
It was either Halo 2 or 3. I was playing, Zen and I had played through 1 together.
Zen is his roommate and my brother.
We had played through, I think it was 3. We played through 2 together, and we were so stoked for 3 to come out, and we were like, yeah, we got it. We played through the whole fucking thing, and then it's just like at the end of one of the levels, it just kind of, you flew off in a helicopter, and it's just like, well, that's it. See you next episode. And it's just like,
Bye.
and like
That's
we're both sitting
disappointing.
there, and we're just quiet, and we're just like, so I guess that's that. Like,
We're done, I guess.
I mean, that, all right.
They didn't want to write an ending. They just wanted to wrap it up.
Yeah, there was literally no ending. It was just, you're done playing now. Until next time.
By the expansion.
Toodaloo.
Peace.
Just fucking, Mary Poppins out of there. Fucking,
boop, boop, boop.
scoodaloo. I must go. My people needed me.
There was it's a great game. I love these games to death. There was Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was the second one. Like you go through this whole thing, or it was either the first or second, and it literally ends with like him standing over the Ouroboros snake.
Yeah, that was a very good game.
It's a great game, but the ending was like
narrative,
he
too.
stands over this Ouroboros snake, realizing that all of his actions will ultimately lead to like the point he's at, and it just kind of ended. And I was like, what the fuck just happened? Thankfully they announced the sequel's coming, which would conclude the story. But I remember playing that, and that came, and I was like, yeah. I had never wanted to throw my controller harder through the TV. I was so mad.
That's one of the games I hope they would resurrect and
I did too.
Yeah.
I was like, that game was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, it was visually spectacular.
Would you guys feel ripped off if you knew that some game studios touch up their screenshots that they release early?
I assume they do.
re-render or render their.
It's false advertising at that point, right?
I guess it depends on if the rendering that they're showing prior to launch. If I get to that launch and it doesn't feel the same way, then I'd be
so this has happened in the past. This is a secret, not a lot of people know. Is there are not all studios will touch up the screenshots, but there are studios that will touch up the screenshots and go, well, the clipping here is weird and this and that, and then while you're at it, adjust the brightness and the contrast a little bit. But when the game gets released, this bug won't be in there. But then they don't actually fix the bug, and so now the screenshot is like misrepresenting. But the justification is, this will be fixed by the time the game is done.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
It is always it.
The
right?
end of all. We'll fix it in post.
But you want to hear a terrible story? So EA wasn't was my least favorite to work for. They got sued and got money for it, but that still wasn't didn't fix everything. So when I was working on Command and Conquer,
Jesus,
it was Command and Conquer Generals. I thought it was a decent game, but what EA was kind of shady back then, and so they brought in a bunch of they had a big press party at the studio. They flew in people, put them in 5-star hotels, and one day our parking lot was full of limo Hummers. They're like Hummers. Some of them were just cool, like custom Hummers, and some of them had like stripper poles in them and stuff.
Oh, okay, that's
and
needed.
Lights and everything, and that was all for the press they had flown in. The press never saw the game. The press came in. They went around to restaurants. They schmoozed. They got to fly in jets. They got to watch a video of the game, and then they went home to go write a great review because they were schmoozed into it.
Meanwhile, the only game they had was like 2 paddles and a dot going in between.
Yes,
Like
I love that game.
Dink, dink,
Greatest game ever. That's insane.
Yeah, they just paid for a vacation. I never had a studio do that except for EA.
Oh, nice. I'm glad they
They
cared
got
about
that
their
stupid
employees.
amount of money though.
That's true.
Got that dumb EA money.
Their stocks are really high too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I hope that with the way technology's headed now, we don't have to play those dumb games anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, boys, I think we done did it.
As we do.
As we do. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to be with you guys midweek. Hopefully you guys have a great fucking week, and you guys out there, till next time, we out.
Pretty little heart skip, be strong. Keep your head up high. Try not to fall into an awful style on your first try. I'll see you next time you decide to come visit me.